And the first guest that's going to be on our show is somebody that hasn't been here before. It's a lady that I've known for a while through her company, CatzPaw. A while back, she was very helpful to me when I was writing an article for S-Scale Resource magazine and trying to develop an article on creating the new Tracks motorcycle gang. And I found a modeler in the Netherlands who made 3D printed S-scale motorcycles. And Sherri was kind enough to give me a man and a woman that would fit on those S-scale motorcycles, and I used them in the article as part of the New Tracks motorcycle gang. So that's how I first met Sherri Johnson. Sherri's company now, CatzPaw, has changed a little bit from what it was, I guess, 4 years ago now or something like that when I first met her, because she's coming out with a new product called Invista Tracks. Well, I'm super impressed with this too. And that's why I've asked her to be on the show tonight. And Sherri, thank you so much for agreeing to be here, and I wish you the best of luck with this new product.
Thank you. And we're hoping that the product will take off.
As Jim can't see you, Sherri. Yeah, there you are.
Here I am. Okay, there we are. As Jim mentioned, we first got, I think about 5 years ago now, we did the 3D printed people for his motorcycles, and we've actually been doing 3D printing for over 10 years now. I had to go back and look, and I didn't realize we've been doing it that long. And over the course of that time, we've created a lot of products, but a lot of products that just sit there. And it makes layouts look good, but it doesn't provide any oomph to what's going on. And early on at one of our train shows, we had a customer that wanted us to make Bigfoot move through the woods. He liked having Bigfoot in the woods, but he wanted to have Bigfoot move through the woods. And we pondered and we pondered, and we have spent the last 9 years developing a solution to get Bigfoot moving through the woods. And that's where we came up with the Invisitrax transport system. It's a way that will let you, I want to say, automagically have things moving. Imagine, if you will, pedestrians walking down the street in your town. You've got revenuers in the woods sneaking up on your gentleman that's got his still going. Or, and I did this just for Jim, because normally when we do our first little sample, we would have Bigfoot, but because we know Jim loves his motorcycles, and that's how we got into this, we've got our little motorcycle guy. See if you can all see that there, hopefully. Cruising around our little layout here. Now, Jim, picture a whole group of motorcycles going down the center of town with our riders on them, of course.
I love it. I love it.
Just cruising around.
I love it. Thank you.
The system that we developed is easy to install. You can drop it into a new layout easily, or given that the height of the system that's hidden underneath is only 7.5 millimeters, you could actually just lay it on top of your existing layout and then just cover it up. And I'm actually going to show you what it looks like. Right now I've got a piece of clear plastic on this so it doesn't all fall out. But you can see the system is comprised of some gears, a chain, and within that chain there are magnets. You then take your, oops, as I just dropped my motorcycle, you can apply a base to them or just insert magnets into the bottom. And that's what rides on top of your ground, moving the figure or figures or people or animals or whatever you can think of, whatever you want to move through your scenery. On our YouTube channel, we've got some examples of a skateboarder going up and down a skateboard ramp. We've got folks walking through a city. We have sharks circling a kayaker, which that happens to be my sister's favorite. She keeps telling everybody about that one. For some reason, she loves sharks circling a kayaker. And of course, we have Bigfoot also walking in the woods. with a little more imagination, since this is based with this a DC motor, you can use something like a Raspberry Pi or an Arduino to control the system. And you can actually program it to do certain things. Imagine your car is pulling up to a traffic light and stopping and waiting for the light to turn green before they continue on through town. We have an example on our YouTube channel where we've got two front loaders, and they're actuated by switches. So they move up to like dump dirt. And when they trigger the switch, then this one backs up, but then the other one moves forward and dumps its dirt. So they go back and forth. The possibilities are endless. It's whatever you can imagine to bring life to your model. We can do it with this product. Questions?
So you can have people walking down sidewalks. You can have
Yes.
cars and trucks going down roads. You
Yes.
can have tractors plowing fields.
Yes. We can have birds flying overhead, because our system actually works upside down. So you could hang it from the ceiling and have birds flying overhead.
And you can do all of these kind of things. And really, besides the trains, everything else that normally would move in real life could be made to move with your system.
Yes, yes. An example we're working on currently on a custom project for a customer, a commission project, where we're actually using our system to do a Christmas centerpiece. And it's going to be Santa Claus on a snowmobile riding up and down through snowy fields. And he's going to encounter our wonderful abominable snowman to make a quick turn and go back the other direction. That's going to be sitting in the middle of their table for Christmas. So it can be used in any environment. And again, imagination, whatever you can imagine moving. Like I said, sharks, you can have things in water moving, on the ground, in the air, all sorts of vehicles, boats, birds, animals. Of course, Bigfoot. Like I said, it's limited only by your imagination what you can get on here. And it works for any scale. You can go down as small as Z scale. We start with S because that's kind of our niche. We've always done S scale first and then branched out to other scales as needed. And we've gone up as far as having a G scale armadillo moving through a garden for a person. So for their southwest, we have the armadillo moving through their layout. So we're very excited about this project. It's going to, we're still in the final testing phases, and I still have to write the instructions. But we are looking to release this in our online store during the first quarter of 2024. So we're looking to get it out there sometime in March. That's going to be my birthday present to myself, is getting this out there for everyone to do and play with and enjoy, and to again bring life to their models.
Where do you go to get more information, Sherri?
As I mentioned, we have a YouTube channel. Just look for Invisitrax. We have a Facebook page. Again, look for Invisitrax. We just did a Discord server, and I'm still learning how to do that. And I believe I have to send invites for that. So what I will do is I will send you a link with the invite, and then if you can disseminate that to other folks, that would be great.
I'll be glad to do that.
And we also have a website, which is invisitrax.com. So we're out there in all sorts of places. And you can always, send us emails. It will be available to purchase at our normal CatzPaw store, which is CatzPaw.com, where you can get our other products.
Anybody have any questions for Sherri?
Is it configurable to different turns and lengths?
Yes. If you go to our YouTube channel, you'll see a lot of our pre-testing, but right now we've had it up to, I think, 8 feet in length. Actually, with just one motor. If you're putting something heavy on there, we would recommend 2 motors. We have these 90-degree turns, but we also have 180-degree turns. We have a straight section where you can drive it. And the tracks are actually made out of, it's either going to be ABS plastic or ASA plastic. Right now, we're still doing testing. but that will give you some flex. So you can actually make it a curve. You don't even have to use these turns. If you go to our YouTube channel and you take a look at Bigfoot, you'll see him winding through the woods, and there are no turns, no set turns like in there. There's just one section that has him move through it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sherri,
I have a question.
you mentioned that it was easy to install on a new layout. What about an existing layout?
With an existing layout, with the way, like I said, it's only 7.5 millimeters tall. So if you wanted pedestrians walking down a sidewalk, you could just lay this down and put your gray material on top, and it would be the perfect height for your sidewalk. If you're doing a road, you could put the roadbed down and just kind of angle up towards the edge of the road to do the roadbed. If you wanted to get super crazy, you could actually go in and route a channel and drop the track into the routed channel. But that's, I would say, more for a new layout versus an existing layout.
Right.
Sherri, just a quick
Yes.
question. So there's another product that's been out a while, Magna Rail.
Yes.
How do you see your product and Magna Rail contrasting?
We actually, when we first were asked to make Bigfoot move through the woods, we found the Magna Rail system and we bought one. And we were so excited thinking that, because we were going to look into being a US distributor of that product, and we bought one. And I was so frustrated with the product out of the box to get all the pieces unscrewed and sanded and put together. We took everything that frustrated us about the Magna Rail product and made it go away. We made it easier to use. There's nothing that's going to be on sprues. It's all 3D printed. It's going to come in individual pieces. It goes together easier. It runs quieter. We are the direct competition, and we do have in common that we have a chain that runs in a track and uses magnets. Aside from the concept, that's the only thing that we have in common. We have our initial tests and our initial designs were closer to theirs, but we are now so far away from there, it's two totally separate products. And we're hoping, since it's more reliable, quieter, uses a lot smaller motor, the motors that we use are like 3/4 of an inch deep. I don't have one here on my desk. They're all out in the garage at the moment. You can't really see it in there either because it's so small. We use high torque motors, and our motors and the other parts are readily accessible. So let's say I'm with our set, we're including a 60 RPM motor because that's kind of good. You can slow it down for people walking, and you can speed it up for vehicles. For our sharks circling, we used a 30 RPM motor because we wanted the sharks to go slowly around the kayak. All these motors are all open source. You'll be able to go to Amazon or wherever and buy this motor if you want to go faster or slower. Once you buy our core product and the expansion sets, the tracks, if you want to add more motors or you need more magnets and things like that, we're going to give you the link to where you can purchase those items directly, so you don't have to go through us for the markups. Like the little brass sliders that they use, you know, they charge $40 US and you get 5 of them. We're selling ours for $5, and we are sourced in the US. All of our products that we could source in the US, we have. Our 3D printing is sourced in the US. Our the brass sliders, we have a gentleman, actually Phil Scandura, he put me in touch with that gentleman. We've used him. Where we can, we're using US products, so there's not going to be supply chain issues, which I know has also been a big issue for the Magna Rail folks.
So from a magnet perspective, I mean, that's the other thing is that, you know, Magna Rail is HO. When you get to O, it gets pretty dicey for a lot of the devices. So are you guys doing, since you started with S, are you building for larger magnets to be able to handle? I mean, is there, if I kind of look at a sliding load difference, are you anticipating to be 50% more capable than Magna Rail in terms of the loads you can handle on an individual slider?
From the tests that we've done so far, and we'll be having some beta testers working and putting this to the test towards the end of the year to see what we can max out.
Right.
An example would be the two front loaders we have. They are metal Ertl tractors, and we're running both of them on the one track.
Right.
You're limited to the size magnet in the chain, but as far as what's on the slider or above that, we've already gone up to magnets that are 6 millimeters in diameter and 2 millimeters thick to try and get some really big stuff to move.
Cool.
Like I'm trying to move a full S scale bus, which if you have a true S scale bus, you know it's a big bus. And we're working on getting that to move. So our short answer to that is yes. We are going to handle the O much better, like I said, because we're starting with S. We're already starting with something larger, but it can be scaled down to the smaller scales as well.
So the other question that I think will come up is, how are you testing and designing and testing for vertical transitions?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. If you take a look at our skateboarding Dan, he actually goes up a curve back and forth, up and down a curve like a real skateboarding.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, good.
And that's just one of our sample little short videos we've done. Like the one we're doing for the Christmas display, Santa's actually going to be going up and down hills and snow drifts. We don't know the maximum yet for the angle because we can't think of anything or everything. That's where our beta testers are going to come in.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to the feedback from our first customers going, okay, we tried this, it didn't work. What can we do? And it's like, all right, let's go back to the drawing board, fix it here. We'll send you a new piece and put it in there. And let's see if this works, type of thing. So that's the other thing. We're here. You're going to have the customer service. You got a problem. We're here. We'll fix it. We'll work on something new. It's like, oh, if you want to try this. Another example we have, actually, there's still S scales. We've got two knights jousting with horses coming at each other, which is kind of a cute thing. We've already sent that one off to England. I don't have that one anymore. So did that answer your question? I know I kind of went off on a tangent there.
Sherri, I have one question. It's
Yes.
Pat here. How would you do the birds flying in the air?
We actually have on our YouTube channel, I call him, I think he's Crazy Gary the Goose. But basically with our system, as long as you've got something covering and holding the track in place, you can actually mount it upside down.
Yeah, but would you use wires down to the bird?
I used fishing line because that's what I had, was clear fishing line. You could use clear plastic thread, and we just tied that off to the brass slider and had him flying around.
Thanks, Sherri.
You're welcome.
Sherri, something else when we talked that was interesting to me, because again, you've kind of changed CatzPaw with this new product, and your emphasis seems to be changed now from what it was when you first started the company many years ago.
That's true. 10 years ago when we started the 3D printing business for scale models, we were basically the only people doing it. And we knew back then that we would probably have a good 5 to 8 years before the technology got to the point where everybody or a lot of folks would be buying their own printers and doing their own work. And we're at the 10-year mark, and that's kind of where we're at. We've seen, if you go on Facebook, there are so many 3D printing for model trains, and you see that there are so many people out there doing so many designs and selling their prints, doing what we were doing. The gentleman from Canada, Mini Prints, he's kind of, what I would have considered a previous competitor, because he basically is doing what we were doing several years ago. But we realized that we needed to move on. And being an electrical engineer and a mechanical engineer, for me, doing the static, outhouses and porta potties and garbage cans and things were cool. But we started with starting to light our products. That was kind of like our first little into doing, little animation was doing the flickering campfires and the flashing traffic barrels. And as things move, and we found people kept asking for more things to be animated on their layouts or the dioramas, that just piqued my curiosity. And then when I saw the Magna Rail system and how sad it was, I hope nobody on here's from Magna Rail. and we decided to take that and make that our focus. Our future is going to be bringing life to modeling and animation. This is just our first step. We have 2 more products that are going to be coming to life in our line. One is going to be like a vibrating ground, or where your movement is on a track. The other one will be random organic movement. A picture, if you will, the ground shaking just a little bit, and you have a bunch of chickens pecking all over the barnyard. People just randomly moving up and down a path instead of a set path. They're kind of moving back and forth. So that's going to be our next phase once we get the transport system on the way. So we're constantly looking at ideas for making things move on layouts. And I think that's kind of where the fun comes in. It's more fun when you actually see something move, or when something looks static and you push a button and it moves and you see the little kids go, oh, wow. And then you see their parents go, all right, how they do that, I want it. It's just that enthusiasm that you get from people when you do see the animation on layouts that excites us.
And so, Sherri, the stuff that you used to do, the 3D printing that you used to do and so forth, you still have the CAD drawings. Are they available? I mean, can people still acquire the CAD drawings?
Yes. Yes, I mean, we're going to keep the CatzPaw product line alive. We still have our store where you can purchase the 3D prints. We've considered selling the files so people can print their own, but then we've seen so many people do that and then resell the prints to other people, and the quality isn't the same. So if it's got the CatzPaw name associated with it, it's going to come 3D printed from us with our level of quality. And we'll continue to develop other products, for the Visitrax and for the other things. We'll continue developing people and add-ons to that product for the animation as well. So we're not dead in the water there.
Yeah, and I'll vouch for Sherri and CatzPaw, because I used to do my own 3D printing. I've used 3 or 4 other 3D printing houses before I found Sherri. And as I've told her, I'll never stray to another place, because she has, and her partner have integrity and quality about their products, that if it's not right, they make it right. And we've gone back and forth on some custom work, and it's just amazing what they're able to do. I mean, I wouldn't waste money buying a 3D printer. It's not worth my trouble. I've got an expert. I've got 2 experts. So.
Well, thank you so much. Sherri, thank you so much for being here tonight. And I hope that you'll consider coming back when you get closer to actually rolling this product out, because I think you're really onto something. And I'd like to support you best we can. So if you'd like to come back when you get closer to rolling it out, I'd love to have you come back.
Oh, we would love to be back. Definitely. We appreciate it. And
the other thing that I'll mention to you, because I'm greedy, don't forget our scholarship. We need all the help we can get trying to get enough money to provide the scholarships to high school graduates who are going to continue their education in a STEAM program in a college, university, or technical institute. We're the only group out there, you may not know this, that has a scholarship like this. We can't self-fund it. 100% of everything that we get is from donations from people who watch the shows. So I mentioned that to you, Sherri, because if you can afford $1 or $2 here or there, we sure would appreciate it.
We will look into that, because those kids with their engineering and technical degrees, they're going to be the ones that are going to take this idea that I have now and 10 years from now go, wow, that was really lame. We got a better solution now. So that's exciting.
Yep, you're exactly right. And they also are the future model railroaders of the future. They're going to be the customers as long as you're in business, and the future for any other producer down the road. But Sherri, thank you so much for being here tonight. I've really learned a lot, and I appreciate your time.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.